place. But it was so exciting back then because we had just finished the most important year in our company's history, the best year in our company's history in 2019, and we were presenting to the world the future of travel and powered by technology and putting power in the hands of our customers. And it was so cool. It was a 5-year view, and it was a pretty awesome opportunity for us. 60 days later, the world stopped.
Yeah, no, I mentioned to you when we were in the green room, I remember that moment when I chatted with a friend of mine who was working at the Hearst Corporation, and we had a drink planned in late February in New York, and I'll never forget this. And she called me and said, Michael, I apologize, I have to cancel. I said, oh, I'm sorry, I was looking forward to getting together. She says, yeah, I was in Milan for Fashion Week, and they told me I have to be quarantined. And it was the first time I heard that word in the context of our lives, and I thought, okay, that's interesting. I guess things are going to be different.
But, and they have been different. And when you think about everything we've been through over the last few years, there are a couple of things that have stuck with us at Delta. The first thing is that once we stabilized the company, and it took us a couple of months, and thank God we had good support from Washington on both sides, of bipartisan support for our industry to allow our employees to keep our jobs. I think one of the biggest accomplishments we've had in the last 3 years, Delta Airlines were one of only 2 airlines in the world that did not furlough a single employee with us. And all those employees are and as we got through that, we realized that this was our opportunity to move. And we didn't know how long it was going to take, but we realized that we had stability after a few months. And so we doubled down on that vision that we showed in CES 3 years ago in terms of the experience in the airports, the new LaGuardia Airport, the new LAX Airport, the new Salt Lake City Airport, the new Seattle Airport, and the new Sky Clubs, and all the new experiences that we have on the ground. And actually, we're delivering on the vision we had several years ago, even faster because of it.
So that time allowed you to do some things that that you were on the road to doing anyway.
Yeah, so we're getting there ironically even faster. But the other thing that was very important during that time, and I think we can all relate to it, in fact we feel it being here today, is that it affirmed what we do, our mission in the world to connect people. The importance of connection, right? The importance of physical connection, but it's more than just physical connection, it's human connection, it's personal connection. I know we tried this over Zoom calls. Thank God we're not doing that anymore, because we couldn't create the opportunities.
I think we should applaud that. Wait, you're on mute. You're on mute.
But the power of human connection is what makes us run, right? And it brings joy, it brings idea, it brings opportunity, it brings creativity to the world. And that also was affirmed, because that's what we do for a living.
Right. Well, Ed, you do it well, but let me suggest that what you just articulated goes right to the heart of my next question, which is, the world has focused more and more, our world, at the kind of intersection of marketing, media, advertising, entertainment, technology, and sports. And you play in that world as well, and I know what we're going to talk about today in a moment is really going to play into that. But that experiential moment, that desire for experience, and the idea of the new concept that we're talking about, is traditionally we talk about B2C and B2B, and now people are embracing this concept of B2H, business to human.
Yeah.
And that human connection is important. Businesses are people too. I mean, I always think of when people said B2B, but that's not an inanimate object. There's a person, there's a procurement person, there's somebody you're talking to that makes that decision. But the experiential part of this and what you've created, what we're going to talk about in a moment, this personalization opportunity so that we all feel that connectivity, please tell us why we're here.
Okay, so
can we get a drum roll?
Part of the vision that we articulated 3 years ago was a vision to connect just not the world, but to connect the sky, right? And I've long held a vision that Wi-Fi should be free for all. It should be high-quality Wi-Fi. It should be the caliber Wi-Fi you have sitting in this room, maybe even better than this room. In the sky, after all, we're closer to the darn satellites in the sky, right?
Makes sense to me.
Makes sense to us. And Delta's here to announce that starting February the 1st, just a few short weeks, that Wi-Fi will be free on Delta across our entire country. It's going to be free, it's going to be fast, and it's going to be available to everyone. It doesn't matter what price you paid for your seat, what class of service you chose, what credit card you used, what mobile carrier you're connected to, it's going to be free to all. And it's something that is so important to us.
And the good news is there's no fine print. It's free.
It's free. It's free. There is no fine print. And it's been so important to us, Michael, that over the last few years, we've invested over $1 billion to create this. So this is not easy to do. We've worked on it. We have a new partnership with Viasat, which is the provider, and we have the satellite bandwidth and capability. Thank you, Viasat, for doing that. We have, the only requirement will be is that you log in through your SkyMiles account, because we had to have some way to get people online. And SkyMiles, I'm sure everyone in here has a SkyMiles account, but if you don't, it'll take you about 30 seconds. We'll make it easy on the plane to log in, and then you've got free access. And we're going to be turning it on February 1st for all planes that are capable. It'll be about 80% of our U.S. system will be on that system, and then we're going to, every week goes by, there's going to be more and more planes turned on, such that by the end of next year, we'll have all of our international planes on, we'll have all of our regional planes on, and we'll finish off with domestic. And as I said earlier, no one better connects the world than Delta, and no one better connects the sky, and it's the last frontier of connection that exists.
That's a game changer, and the importance of that, and the accessibility. And I know there's exciting news around Delta Sync.
Yeah.
So can you share with us, the premise of Delta Sync and how important that is to personalize this experience? Before we get into what's going to happen on the plane, just the app experience that you're going to be able to utilize Delta Sync for.
Precisely. So Wi-Fi is critical and it's important. It influences our experience as we travel and makes travel easier. But we also know that we want to make travel more personal. That connection, that time you're spending with us, we want to give you opportunities. And so we have partnered up with a couple great brands. T-Mobile is going to be a partner on board with us on Delta Sync. Paramount Plus is going to be a partner with us. Free Paramount Plus streaming on board our planes when you're on Delta Sync.
I'm going to be wearing my cowboy boots for Yellowstone.
Awesome. You'll be able to watch that or Top Gun or whatever you want to. We have American Express, our close partners in Resi. We have Atlas Obscura. We have the New York Times games that are all going to be partnered in. What Delta Sync is going to be is an umbrella brand. It's going to be a collection of digital services and engagement opportunities and experiences for customers once they come on to the free Wi-Fi portal. The Delta Sync will have opportunities for people to engage. And people will fly, they want to learn, they want to experience. There will be opportunities that you can only get on Delta through some of these partnerships. And it will also be a channel that will open up into the future. We'll have retail, we'll have gaming, we'll have sports, we'll have other channels as we go that we'll be able to bring to our customers while they're on board our flight.
So Ed, if I liken this to what I've experienced with my grandchildren when the iPad first was introduced, and then walk up to a television and try to do this and nothing worked and they couldn't understand it.
Right.
When we're sitting on the airlines on a Delta flight right now, there's a screen on the back of every seat. Those are, and I don't want to say this is a pejorative, but those are dumb screens.
They're dumb screens.
They're dumb screens.
They'll tell you they're dumb.
Exactly. My understanding is that's not going to be the case as we go forward.
Exactly right. So the other part of our in-flight entertainment opportunity here is to turn those screens into smart screens. And Delta Sync on Demand is going to be the avenue. So at Delta, we've long believed in the value of having seatback entertainment as well as your personal electronic devices with you. And by the way, the free Wi-Fi extends to however many personal devices that you carry with you. Some crazy people carry 4 or 5 of them. You'll be able to connect them all on Delta when you fly. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing there. But I heard of one person carrying 6 as we've been piloting it. It's pretty funny. But the Delta Sync on Demand is changing out the seatback screens and putting smart screens, which are also starting this year, rolling out. And so you'll be able to have a curated experience back and forth in addition to the free Wi-Fi. Delta has over 150,000 seatback screens. We have more than twice any airline in the world has on our fleets. And we continue to invest more and more into that entertainment channel. So just think, Michael, when you on the next board, you sit down, you're welcomed by that smart screen. Michael, welcome. Glad to see that you're coming to Atlanta to see Ed.
And you're telling me not to have another drink.
And these are 3 restaurant suggestions we have for you that are cool spots that we're holding opportunity for you if you want to engage. How cool would that be? So when you think about personalization in travel and connectivity and a relationship that you have with a brand, that's the next frontier of travel.
Well, Ed, it's so interesting. Obviously, we're here at the Consumer Electronics Show, and for many years, as you know, we've had a belief that this is a place that wasn't just around technology. It was a place that others could live, which is the genesis of the C Space, where we're enjoying this conversation today. Was to bring brands and the marketing side of the industry really to experience and understand the technology. And we did it originally. Our original vision for this was, if technology is going to be how people are transacting and living their life more and more, and we thought of it from a transactional perspective, but obviously the in-flight experience, what you're doing, and I applaud you for this, is taking what is a transactional experience and making it a more strategic experience and a relationship, which is, so often we hear people saying, gee, I don't want to just have that transactional relationship, I want to have that strategic, that this is that, and that personalization. You've done loyalty better than anybody, in my opinion. The Delta loyalty programs, and I've utilized them a lot, I'm happy to say. It's effortless, and it's one of the easiest experiences, and where loyalty matters. But this is going to ensure it even further.
That's going to take it to another level, yeah. And when you think about loyalty, what's the core? What sits behind loyalty is trust, right? And when you're in our industry, what we do is hard. And who you trust with your travel experiences matter. And the reason we can even make the announcement, the reason we can even afford the $1 billion investment, is because of our confidence in the people of Delta Airlines. Because it's the people of Delta Airlines that make all of this possible, and the trust they have, and the service. And I'm pleased that earlier this week, Cirium, which is the global consultancy that manages and evaluates reliability, on-time performance of all airlines around the world, announced yet again Delta was the #1 on-time airline throughout North America last year, and the most reliable airline across all of North America for all the reasons. So you can create free Wi-Fi. You can create the gizmos and gadgets and shiny objects over here. But if you don't place them on a foundation of reliability, of performance, and trust, which is what that loyalty sits in, that's what's going to make the Wi-Fi fly.
Well, and Ed, the last time I had the privilege of doing a keynote here at CES was in 2020, as when you did yours. And I interviewed in that section Alan Joke, the CEO of Unilever, and Mark Benioff, the CEO of Salesforce. And the topic we talked about in 2020 was purpose and purpose-driven marketing. And I love your view on that. And obviously, I know it's core to Delta because we've had the experience of working together, and I know how important purpose is to you. And what you're saying here is not just about a technological gizmo or an advance, it's really about a relationship.
It's about a relationship. What we've been through these last few years brings a human to connectivity? Why are people walking around with big smiles, right? I remember 3 years ago, it was fun, it was crazy, but it was busy, right? There wasn't a lot of smiles. People were having to get to different, people just enjoying being here and the delight of being back together. And that's, again, what we create. We create connectivity, we create emotional attachment. And for us to actually take that to the sky now, whether your trip's an hour or your trip's 14 hours, you're going to stay connected with your loved ones, with high quality streaming access for whatever they're enjoying. And we're giving you value. And that's the purpose that we bring to this world, is the value we create through connection.
And the experience, and that's important, obviously. Ed, we're here at a technology show, and I would be remiss if I didn't say we've just kind of all experienced what happens when people don't make investment in technology and don't understand the importance of that. Being here at the center of technology and the technological advances, if you had to guesstimate when you're back here in 2025, push it forward a little, and we're talking about the technology and advances, what do you see on the horizon?
Well, what I see is that we will now take this outside of just a U.S. context into a much more global context. Because our future is to connect the world, not just to connect North America or the U.S. And when we think about our partnerships that we have in Europe, in South America, in Asia, I mean, we're still not back yet as a world. China's not even open really yet. And so everything we're doing in terms of leading the world out of this mess that we've been in is going to now be on a global stage. And Delta will be at the forefront of that. And that's what we're going to talk about. You can sign me up now. I'll sign up to that keynote 2 years ahead of time.
Well, Ed, you can count on it. Let me kind of take us back a moment. The brand side of Delta, the marketing side of Delta. It's interesting. I did a panel in October for Forbes on the question, which I think our audience would be interested in. And the question I was asked was, what does the CEO, generically, what does the CEO not know about the role of the CMO? So I'm putting you on the spot here a little. Because we didn't talk about that question at all. So you're all hearing this unscripted, guys. I hope you appreciate it.
But I have a awesome CMO, and there's a lot I don't know. Tim Mates and our marketing team and our communications team, by the way, who brought this whole vision to life over time. And thank you for the partnership with great companies like Starbucks, where we have the activation and the loyalty you talk about. I'll tell you a quick story about Starbucks. Late last year, we announced that you can connect the two Starbucks and Delta accounts, your loyalty accounts. Hopefully everyone in this room who's already connected. Show of hands. A lot of people connected. There's more of you to go. Okay. We thought we'd acquire 1 million new SkyMiles accounts through that connection. We acquired 1 million over a year. We acquired it in 2 weeks. So that talks about the power of brand, the power of alignment of great brands when you bring them together, and the magic that occurs. And I'm also excited to announce that this afternoon, Ranjan Goswami is not our CMO, but he's our Chief Customer Design Officer, experienced and very famous and to this crowd, is going to be on stage with leaders from Paramount Plus and T-Mobile and Atlas Obscura and the New York Times to talk about the next step of the partnership of these big brands coming together to bring value to customers.
Well,
and it's all free. Everything that Delta's doing is going to be free.
And I was taught, as I presume you were as well, that one is known by the company they keep. And I think we're all privileged to keep company with you today. And with the brands that you're partnering with, it speaks volumes. And congratulations. And I know on behalf of everybody, thank you. This is going to really make travel a hell of a lot better.
It's going to be exciting. And I think there's a video they're going to play here too.
Absolutely. Please.
Stay in your seats because there's one more thing to come when we're done.
We all travel for similar reasons. To experience, to explore, to connect. But the way we travel, well, that's different for everyone. And with Delta Sync, Your future travel will be tailored to you. Your tastes, your connections, your curiosity, your favorites. Your SkyMiles membership. You. Because even if we're all on the same flight, we're not all going the same way. So we'll help you connect with what matters most to you. Introducing Delta Sync, where travel fits you perfectly.
Before we conclude this part of the program, there's a little surprise which the gentleman to my left is going to share with you in a moment.
So 2 of you are sitting in a seat that has a gold seal on the front edge of the cushion. So look down in your seats, and I'd like to find the 2 people who have the gold seal, and if you have it, please stand up. It's on the right side of the seat. It's a little gold seal. It's right on the corner. If there's an empty chair, go jump in it. Okay, have we found anybody yet?
Which side? It's on the right side?
It's on the front of the right side. Okay, so whoever from the Delta team put those seals out there, can you help me? Okay, we found one. We got one. Do we have a second? We find somebody there? We got it? There we go. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay. Thank you for finding those seals, okay? You're going to find this much more interesting. But the 2 of you have just won free Delta One tickets for 2 anywhere in the world that you want to go.
Ed Bastian.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for flying Delta.
Guys, it's now a great pleasure to